Hey everybody, welcome to this 30-minute prenatal yoga practice. This is safe for all trimesters if your doctor has cleared you to practice yoga, and it's suitable for kind of like a range of energy levels. So if you're feeling just exhausted today, there's still going to be a lot of this that will hopefully feel really good to you without requiring too much. But if you're like, got the energy, I'd like something a little more, I wouldn't use the word vigorous, but there'll be moments where you can kind of dial up the intensity in a way to suit the kind of energetic experience that you're looking for. Also, this is a 30-minute practice from start to finish. I'm going to give you a little bit of time in Shavasana at the end, but like truly not enough. In prenatal classes, I really like to give 10 minutes of Shavasana. When you're pregnant, you're exhausted. It's some of the only like quiet, still peaceful time I know you might find in a day. So it kills me to not give you a 10-minute Shavasana at the end of this practice, but I wanted there to be like a 30-minute class that when you have a little bit of time and you're looking for some movement, you're able to find what you're looking for. So please, if you have the time after this, like stay in the resting shape and just soak up the stillness and the peace. All right, last thing, and then we'll get started. Lots of props are going to help make this practice feel good in your body as it continues to change. I'm going to do a video this weekend that shows you, if you don't have these actual yoga props, things you probably have around your house that you can repurpose for it. So keep an eye below. I'm going to put it there. But for now, you've got a yoga mat or like a towel spread out on the floor. I have a folded blanket there, which I'll use to cushion the knees in kneeling postures and also to sit on and lift the hips. 2 yoga blocks. I've already got mine on my highest height, and then a bolster. So I'd recommend grabbing all of those things. We're going to get started in a seated position. Oh, the last thing is there's a playlist linked below and you can press play now. You don't need to be synced up with me. It's just some instrumental music to kind of help set a nice vibe, create a nice little sonic backdrop. So get started in a seated position that feels good to you. This could be in a chair if sitting on the floor doesn't feel great. I'm going to fold my blanket, sit up on it, and do legs crisscross applesauce. Take a minute to get comfortable. Switch positions at any time. If you need to get up to use the restroom or just to rest or to have a sip of water, permission throughout this entire class to do what's going to feel best to you. And once you find a position that feels comfortable, rest your hands palms up if you're looking to receive some energy, palms down if you're looking for a little more grounding. Close your eyes if that feels comfortable, or gaze softly down at the ground in front of you. Give yourself a moment to just experience having stopped. Having nothing to do in this moment except be with yourself and your breath. You might notice that you're not alone here. Baby or babies are with you. They're going to enjoy this 30 minutes of mindful movement and peaceful breathing just as much as you are. As you sit here, can you let your hips grow even heavier down towards the ground? Trace the length of your spine from your tailbone all the way up out the top of your head. Notice if just that energetic awareness maybe helped you sit up a little taller. And as much as you can, find space through both sides of your body. I know, especially in the later months, there's not much space to be had, but in the same way that energetically drawing attention to the length of the spine helps you sit up taller, can you energetically bring a feeling of space in between each of the ribs, all the way down to your hips? Take a big breath in through your nose, filling up. And with an audible sigh, release. Making sound is good. Let's do that 3 more times. Breathe into your depth. Sigh it out, let go. Beautiful. 2 more at your own pace here. There's no rush. You can keep your eyes closed if that feels good, or blink them open. If your legs are crossed, switch the cross of your legs. To start to find a circle with the hips. So still cross-legged, or maybe you're in a chair. We're just circling through the hips, kind of rocking the pelvis backwards and then along the edge, drawing a circle with the pelvis. And as you start to kind of play with this, you'll feel into some spots in the body that would like maybe a little more attention. Notice how the low back feels. Notice how the shoulders feel, the space across the heart. Maybe you kind of bring a little more spinal undulation to this. You can get as weird as you want. We're just at home with our computers now, so nobody can see you. Switch directions of your circles. Maybe you start to explore a little more, kind of finding like a cat and a cow shape in the spine as you rock backwards, bending through the spine as you rock forward, drawing the heart forward. No wrong way to do this, but these little pelvic circles, you could do these just even when you wake up in the morning. This starts to just increase the blood flow to the pelvis, which will help ease any tension and discomfort through the low back and hips just by bringing more blood to that area. Good. Find stillness in your seat one more time. And this time, drop one ear to your shoulder. Imagine that your top ear is being lifted up to the sky by a string. Notice how, again, energetically that focus lengthens the side of the neck. Breathe in. And as you exhale, drop your chin down to your chest, lengthening through the back of the neck. Lift your head back to center and then drop opposite ear to the other shoulder. Keep breathing, taking an open mouth sigh as often as you need. Lift your top ear up, up, up towards the sky. Big breath in. Big breath out. Find some organic movement on your own between these shapes, rocking ear to shoulder, chin to chest. Maybe it feels good to lift the chin up towards the sky and stretch the underside of the chin and the throat. This is a place where I like to encourage everyone to just practice some silent screaming. It looks like this. It looks wild, but it feels really, really good. We carry a lot of tension in our face, and you might not notice it until you give that a try. So try it. Still breathing here. Good. Even out your sides. And then bring your chin back to center. You can send your legs out in front of you just for a moment. Give them a little wiggle, some spaghetti legs. I know this is a lot to have the legs crossed, so come back one more time. Switch the cross of your legs again here. A couple more seated things, and then we'll get moving. Bring your fingertips onto the tops of your shoulders. We're going to draw some big circles with the elbows. So it doesn't matter which direction you start in. When the elbows come forward, imagine you're drawing a Venn diagram, and this is where they'd overlap. And then open the elbows as wide as you can and as far back as you draw the rest of the circles. So as you inhale, you're coming up and forward. And as you exhale, back and down. These can be really slow. If you're feeling tight or tense across your shoulders and your chest, this can help bring some much needed opening. Let's switch directions of the circles. So going the other way. Awesome job. Keep bringing that big and intentional breath to each movement. Awesome. And when you're done, bring your fingertips back down to your sides. We're switching the cross of the legs just one more time. We're going to find some side bends here. So if you have your yoga blocks, Put one on each side of you, any height. You might start with them on the medium height just to see how that feels. As you inhale, sweep both arms up to the sky. As you exhale to your right, bring your right hand down towards the block, reach the left arm up and then over like a rainbow. And then inhale back to center, both arms lift. And exhale to the left, really lengthening through the side bodies. Good, inhale center. And exhale to the right. Inhale center. Exhale left. Continue moving with your own breath at your own pace. If it feels better to kind of stick in one spot, maybe you're bending through the elbow to open up through the chest, that's allowed. I just want to recognize that you might not be moving with quite as much of a range of motion as I am if your belly is really big right now or you're feeling really tense and tight. So it's all good. Blocks could even come up a level if this makes it more accessible for you. And as you continue to rock like this, hug baby or babies up and in. Before you were pregnant, you might have heard yoga teachers say things like, hug your belly button up and in, which just might be a cue that makes like no sense right now, given what's happening in your body. But if you think about hugging baby in and then up, there are still muscles there that are working to hold you, keep you steady. Let's do one more on each side, lengthening, finding space. Good, awesome job. All right, we are done with the seated part. Bring your blocks to the front of your mat and find a tabletop position or on all fours. Might feel good to put this blanket down on the mat for just some knee cushion. Toes can be tucked or untucked, whatever feels better. And so shoulders are over wrists. If you're having sensitive wrists today, two options here. You might do fists on the ground, or you can bring your blocks back and do forearms. This is tougher because it makes your back work. But if you're looking for a little bit of an upper back action here, forearms on blocks on any height is another great option. So from here, we'll find some movement through the spine. As you inhale, lift your tailbone up to the sky, hug baby up and in, send your heart forward. This is cow pose. And as you exhale, tuck your pelvis, round and curl the spine, chin comes to chest, hugging baby in here too. Start to rock between those two shapes with your breath, inhaling and exhaling. Relax your face, relax your neck. And see if you might originate this movement from the pelvis. So it's not the top of your spine that arches or rounds, but it's your pelvis lifting and tucking, and the spine follows suit. Good, one more round. Awesome job. Now just to give the legs a little break here, send one foot back, rocking on the ball mount. Notice how this feels through the back of the leg, through the Achilles, even the bottoms of the feet and the toes. And then switch your sides, opposite leg goes straight back. Awesome job. Return to tabletop, switch up the position of your hands if you need to. We're gonna just sway the hips side to side here. It might feel better to walk the hands forward, even a handprint, and just rocking from right to left. And maybe this is plenty. This feels good. It's getting into the outer hips, the IT band. But maybe you play as you send your hips off to one side. Maybe you also send your hips back towards your heels. Any amount, keeping space for baby. Maybe start drawing circles with the hips. I really cannot emphasize how there is not a wrong way to do this. So stay connected to sensations in your body, maybe messages from baby about what they like or they don't. Staying connected to your breath You can adjust anytime to find what feels best. Good. Now, last little option here, bring your hands or fists right back under your shoulders. We're going to do some C-curve spine work. So start by sending your hips off to the right and then gaze back the opposite direction. So gazing at the left heels. I'm shocked that this feels so different in so many of our bodies. This might really feel wrong to you. If this feels very bad, look the same direction that you sent your hip. So again, there's no wrong way to do this. Rocking the hips side to side, either looking in the same direction as the hip or the opposite. This might feel like a really nice outer hip release. And I'm going to set a timer for 1 minute. And I invite you to just experiment and play with all the different spinal movement and spinal activation shapes we just played with. So we've got cat and cow. We've got these hips from side to side, maybe even kind of coming back with knees wide towards child's pose and circles. We've got the C curve, looking back towards the feet. And lastly, we've got rocking on the ball mounts of the feet. So you still have 30 seconds left. I'm going to stop talking and give you a little bit of silence and space just to listen to the sound of your own breathing. About 10 more seconds. Good. Finish up whatever you're working with. And next is child's pose. So if your belly's not too big yet, you can go just the way you might always, where toes touch, knees are wide, crawl the fingertips forward. It might feel nice to rest your head on a block. Give it a try. If this is uncomfortable as baby grows, bring your bolster in front of you. And we got options, we got levels. Might feel good to cross your arms over each other and rest your head down on your arm. If we need more space too, bring your blocks on top of your bolster. Send your breath to your back body here as you inhale, inflating through the entire back, low back, mid back, upper back. And as you exhale, tune into that feeling of ice melting into water as the tension eases. 3 more breaths like that, no rush. Take your time. And when you're all done with your 3rd breath, we'll come back up, finding tabletop just for 1 more little set here. We'll do some bird dogs or balancing table, which is a great way to continue to build strength and stability through your core. So send your left toes straight back, keep them on the floor. Send the right arm straight forward. So opposite leg, opposite arm. And see if you might lift the left toes any amount. If you're feeling wobbly, this doesn't feel great, it's okay to lift the toes like 1 inch off the floor and to continue to kickstand them, that you're still working. Hug baby in as you're here. Make your spine as long as you can. Back of the neck is long. You could stay right here and hold. If you want a little more, inhale, lengthen both your arm and your leg. And as you exhale, draw elbow towards your knee underneath you. It's okay if they never touch. Then now inhale, lengthen arm and leg, reaching, reaching, reaching. And exhale, elbow towards knee. Let's do 2 more. You got it. Inhale, lengthen and expand. Exhale, elbow towards knee. Keep your face soft. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. So good. Back onto all fours. Sway your hips side to side. Release that right glute. Say thank you. Thank you, right glute, for all you do. And let's do the other side. So this time, right toes go straight back. The left arm comes forward. See how it feels to lift the right leg any amount. Hug baby up and in. Flex your toes back towards your shin so your foot is really active. And no matter how lifted your leg is, imagine you could like donkey kick the wall behind you down. That's how strong the leg is here. Hamstring is firing, glute is firing, core is hugging baby up and in. Again, stay like this, hold, it's really challenging. If you want to move and add that challenge, breathe in. Exhale, elbow towards knee. Again, they may never touch, it's all good. Inhale, lengthen with control. Exhale, elbow towards knee. Good, let's do 3 more. You can do it. Inhale. And exhale. Awesome strength and stability. Breathe in. And breathe out. Last one. Good, release all 4. Hands and knees onto the ground. Sway your hips side to side. Good, all right. Our last little sequence here before we lay back down is a kneeling lunge sequence. So we're actually not even gonna stand up. I just made a game time decision because I'm realizing the low back, the hips, they might need more. So we've still got the blanket here underneath the knees. Bring your blocks in front of you on their highest height and put the blocks inside as you step the right foot forward. Pardon me. So blocks are inside the leg. This helps make room for baby. And as you inhale, still walk your blocks any amount forward, finding a little bit of a lunge. And again, we're not super warm right now, so this is not about how low you can go. In fact, activate your leg even while you're in this lunge. Toes can be tucked or untucked. Adjust your knee so that it's more comfortably on the mat, and then squeeze your left glute. As you squeeze, do you notice any change in the sensations across the front of your left hip flexor, maybe a lengthening? We can still get a great stretch here without just dumping down passively into the stretch. Plus, you build more strength and stability when you work on asking your muscles to hold you here even while a stretch is happening. So take a big breath in here, lift the heart up and forward. And as you exhale, we're straightening the right leg. You maybe still walk the blocks back with you. Pop the right toes up any amount. This is half splits. And from here, you might see how it feels to send the foot side to side. Maybe you even gently sway the hips side to side. For me, this feels really intense along the back of my leg because my hamstrings are so mad at me for sitting down all day. But you might really be feeling this through the low back, especially if you tuck your chin towards your chest. Notice how that feels. And now the invitation is just to rock back and forth between the 2 shapes, inhaling to find that lunge and exhaling to rock it backwards to half splits. You're just exploring what feels right and good to you here. There's no wrong way to do it. Spend more time in one of these shapes if it feels really good. But sometimes I like to imagine that this is me like WD-40ing my hips. Brings a lot of blood flow to them, helps kind of just work out the tension we get from sitting in a car, sitting at our desk. Maybe you've been walking a lot, your hips are sore from walking. The hips are just, they're always sore, aren't they? So let's do one more of each of these movements and then we'll find it on the other side. Good, feels so good. All right. Come back onto all 4s, sending the right leg back to meet the left, and we're just gonna step the left leg forward in the same way. So again, blocks come further off towards the right to make room for the left foot. Take as many little mini steps as you need to get there. And then blocks are on the inside of the foot, making as much space as you need. Also, like blocks have other levels. It feels best in my body to do it up high. As you inhale, rock forward, send the heart up to the sky and forward. Squeeze the right glute for support. Make both of your legs strong here. So the stretch, yes, it's happening across the front of the right hip, but you're also feeling the muscles engage and supporting you, stabilizing you here. Breathe in. As you exhale, half splits, rock the hips backwards. Whoa, left toes pop up. Totally normal to experience something very different on another side. It's great to observe it. There's no need to make any sort of a judgment about it. Start to find a flow with your breath here, rocking between the two shapes. Keep your breath steady and full as you stay carefully attuned to what your body is asking for and find ways to make space. Wow. Could do this all day. Let's do one more of each of the movements. Awesome. Great job. Come back to center, bring the left leg back. Any like woo wiggle movements you feel like you'd like to do. We're gonna lay down on your side and lay down on your right side first. So a couple of notes about how you might want to get set up. If you have that bolster, keep it nearby, keep it on one of your sides. We'll figure it out later. If you have that blanket, bring it down. Keep your blocks nearby. We don't need them immediately, but they might be useful later. You can either rest your head on a block, it could be useful now, or you might rest your head on your hand. We're gonna do some outer hip work. And then guess what? We're in the Shavasana position. So we're very close to being done. You're doing amazing. So you're laying on the right side, stack your knees, stack your feet, stack your heels. We're gonna do some clam shells, but not yet. First, send your left leg, your top leg up. Hook your arm around the back of it like a little fish hook. This is just so you can kind of like get some activity through the hips. So you're pulling with the knee. Slightly resist that with your strong leg. Flex your foot if that feels okay. And we're just kind of like just checking in with the hip here. There's nothing really wrong. You're just moving it around using your giant fish hook of an arm. Maybe you're drawing circles or like writing your best friend's name with your foot, writing baby's name if baby has a name yet. Awesome. You can bend and straighten as much as feels good. And now we'll do clam shells. So now release your fish hook, bring your knees to stack on top of each other, glue your feet together. And as you inhale, open up your knees any amount. You might bring your left hand onto your hip to help stabilize you, and also like kind of poke at this outer hip. You can activate your muscles. You can tell them to fire by poking them. So pretty cool. And as you inhale, we're opening the clamshell. As you exhale with control, close. Let's do 5 total. Why are 5 clamshells so hard? Good thing I didn't say to do 10. Just kidding. You can do 10 if you want. Whew. All right. When you finish up your 5, we're going to do reverse clamshell. So this has been introducing some external rotation to the hip. We're going to introduce internal rotation. So this time, glue your knees together and we're going to lift your foot. Again, any amount, as high as you comfortably can. It might be fun to see what this range of motion feels like, but there's no need to push it. So as you inhale, you're lifting that top foot. As you exhale, it comes back down. Let's do 5 total on this side. Amazing. And when you're all done, you might grab that fish hook again, or if it's accessible, maybe you're grabbing for your ankle or your foot, and just give yourself a moment to one more time, just bend and straighten through the leg. Move it in any way that feels good to release the hip. And we're going to roll over onto the other side. If it feels okay to you to like roll on your back just for a moment and go to the left side, do it. Otherwise, you can gently press yourself up and lay yourself back down. Now this time, laying on your left side, bring your bolster in front of you. We're going to use it in a moment. And bring your blocks, one or both of them, it's up to you. Let's say one by your head and one next to your bolster, just for now. But first, the clam shells. So back to laying on the left side. Grab for your fish hook, hook it around the outside of your leg. Notice how this hip is feeling. Maybe you're bending and straightening. Maybe you're drawing circles with the ankle. And when you're ready, bring your right leg back down. Clamshell time, baby. Hand on the hip. Maybe you're poking that glute, that outer hip. Inhale to lift the knee open. And exhale to close. 5. How you doing? You good? Great. We're so close to being done. You're doing amazing. All right, when you finish up your 5th clamshell, it's time for reverse clamshells, which I'm sure is not what they're called, but that is what I will be calling them. Lifting the top leg up while knees are glued together. To really get the most out of this exercise, keep the right foot really active. So toes are flexed back towards your shin. Awesome job. When you're done with your 5th one, lift that top leg just one more time. Just another last little minute. Maybe you're finding like a half happy baby. Awesome. And now we are ready for our sideline shavasana. So you're already 80% of the way there. Bring your block underneath your head. Again, any height. And then slide your bolster or your pillow or your couch cushion closer to you. And we're going to put the right leg over it. The bolster is next to you. This block is here if you'd like something else under your head, or depending on the height of your pillow / bolster, it might actually feel good to have a block there as well. Let yourself get comfortable. It's worth the amount of time it takes to get comfortable so that you can really unwind and rest while you're here. And as I mentioned earlier, this won't be a long shavasana, but I do want to guide you just through a brief letting go and softening meditation. You can find that peaceful place within yourself and come back to it anytime. Start by allowing your body to grow heavier, softer. Allow your breathing to be natural and easy. And as you scan your body from head to toe, is there any way that you could just let go a little bit more? Maybe your glutes are clenched or your jaw is clenched. Maybe softening your palms or your toes unlocks, softening somewhere else too. And let yourself rest here, just you and baby. Growing softer, more easeful. Soften the space between your eyebrows and the sockets of your eyes and around your nostrils. Make space between your teeth and allow your tongue to rest on the lower palate, softening even the root of your tongue. Release the throat. Feel your shoulders from the inside out. Trace the line of your spine from the top of your neck all the way down, softening along each vertebrae. Soften the space around your heart. Let your belly soften, saying hello to baby as you pass by. Relax both of your hips. See if you might allow your pelvic floor to relax. Trace the long line of both legs all the way down to your toes, allowing them to grow heavier and softer. And same with your arms, each long arm softening from shoulder head down to fingertips. And then this last moment here, allow yourself to breathe as you sense the whole body as a field of energy. Maybe you're noticing tingling or heat or coolness. Allow yourself to rest in those sensations as you observe the rise and fall of your chest. If you have the time to stay here longer and keep resting, please do. There's no rush to leave. If you're ready to wake up, start to deepen your breath, bring little movements to your fingers and your toes. Maybe even finding a big full body stretch best you can from being on your side. And when you're ready, press yourself up nice and easy to a tall, proud seat. And we'll close our practice together with 3 big breaths. So find your best, most comfortable position to sit. You can close or open the eyes, that's up to you. As you inhale, sweep your arms up high, reach for the sky. As you exhale, draw your hands to heart center. Again, like that, breathing in, filling the body up with all the space you've created. And exhale, hands to heart. Last one, big breath in, biggest breath of the whole day. Finding space. And exhale. Lift your thumbs to third eye center. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to practice. Thank you. All right, friends, that was longer than 30 minutes. Sometimes you just get carried away. So I will rename the video so that it's not so misleading, but I still said it at the beginning. So I am going to be adding some more prenatal videos to the channel. So if you have some specific requests or there are like specific chunks of time you're looking for, please let me know. I create these for you. So I'm happy to do whatever feels most supportive. Thank you again for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Take good care. Bye.